It's July the 26th, 1956. You might think that this is just a normal day, and you might think that everything would be okay, but I have something to tell you. What I'm about to do is put on my reading glasses, because I'm going to read the picture on what's going on. And the picture is showing me this disaster unfolding, the sinking of a brand new Italian line ship, in which all is about to come. This is a recreational documentary talking about the sinking of the SS Andrea Doria. And with this new episode of Season 2, uploaded late though, we will discuss about the Andrea Doria sinking. Why did it collide with the MS Stockholm? Why did it have other ships rescue its passengers? And why did it leave a legacy so haunting? It left 50 dead. And we will understand how, what, and why there was an Atlantis of Italy. July the 26th, 1956. There, Armageddon will begin and hell will break loose. The SS Andrea Doria disaster was a disaster, or should I say maritime disaster, that happened on July the 26th, 1956 at the Nantucket Shoals near New York City. And just to be clear, I haven't uploaded in a while because it's Eve here. And plus, we're still at the ships section, so yeah, we're gonna be stuck here for a while. Here we see the brand new ship of Italian line, the Andrea Doria. She's relatively new, 3 years old at the time. She is the pride of Italy, in all of its wonder and black paint, and owned by the Italian line. And she is one of the newest vessels ever since World War II. The Andrea Doria set sail from Genoa, Italy, en route to New York City. At that time, she was relatively new, around 3 years old. And the Doria was one of the most luxurious ocean liners to be built, since she had 3 swimming pools, a casino, restaurants, and yeah, she was a luxury liner for sure. She was built by the Italian Line, a ship company based in Italy. Adjacent from the Doria is this Swedish-American line ship, the MS Stockholm. The Stockholm was arriving from New York to Gothenburg, Sweden, and she would cause all of the disaster unfolding. Opposite from the Doria was another cruise ship, the MS Stockholm. The Stockholm was owned by the Swedish-American Line, and it was bound from New York City to Gothenburg, Sweden. Can I just mention that I have a crush on Princess Estelle of Sweden, and I'll just put this back here. Here we see a photo of the map of the Nantucket Shoals. We will just zoom in here on this area, as you can see here. Zoom in. This is where the Stockholm was supposed to be arriving, right there. But the Stockholm was on this area. That is where the Doria is heading. And even more so, the Doria and the Stockholm are traveling the opposite way. The Stockholm was traveling from New York, meaning she's in this position. But adjacent and far away is the Andrea Doria, traveling in an opposite direction. But yet, these two will be in a disaster unfolding. The Stockholm at that time wasn't following standard protocol, since it was traveling the wrong course above the Nantucket Lightship. The Nantucket Lightship is here. This area is where the Stockholm is traveling. This is where the Doria is traveling. This is where the Stockholm is traveling. Where the Andrea Doria is also, it was going above the Nantucket Shoals, I think. And at that time, it was also an unlucky day since heavy fog already settled in. So It's now 11 p.m. The Doria and the Stockholm are now in heavy fog. It's midnight and everything is nonchalant. And yet, disaster would unfold. The Doria and the Stockholm are approaching, and the radio signals can see the beeps as both ships are appearing closer. And we'll show you what happened next in this recreational stop motion footage that we did. In this recreational footage, or should I say reenactment, both ships are approaching and the Andrea Doria turned port and the Stockholm turned starboard. And then later, a few minutes go by, and unfortunately, the Stockholm collided with the Doria, damaging severely, but even more worse, tearing a hole in the Andrea Doria and ruining the Stockholm's bow. And that was it for the two ships. What I'm about to say is information from a court between Italian line and the Swedish-American line. According to the Swedish-American line, the Andrea Doria turned to port and the Stockholm turned hard to starboard. But according to the Doria's company, Italian line, they said that they were going port as if the Stockholm was supposed to go port as well. That was an outmaneuver. Since the Stockholm was going the right path, the Doria was, Minutes after the collision, the Stockholm and the Doria, or should I say the Doria, sent an SOS, in which it went SOS, 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 T to AC Andrea Doria, 41 degrees, 43 minutes north of the equator, 69 degrees, 53 minutes west of the prime meridian, collision with MS Stockholm. Immediate assistance required. And yet, this immediate resistance caused panic. As the inclination levels got so severe, passengers were panicking, but not to no avail, because there is one good thing. The Doria had lifeboats. Unlike the Titanic nor the Doña Paz, the Andrea Doria had plenty of lifeboats. But one problem, half of the lifeboats were unable to be used, even though the other half, due to severe inclination levels, some of them were launched empty. That was a bad call, so the Stockholm had to aid the Doria with its own. The Stockholm collided with the Doria and it broke the Stockholm's bow, but it made something even worse, tearing a hole in the Andrea Doria, and it was now completely listing, and the Doria was tilted into one angle. But wait, there's one thing, lifeboats. Oh wait, I forgot, I'll tell you. Andrea Doria had plenty of lifeboats, but due to the severe list, one side of the lifeboats, the port side, were unable to be launched, since due to the heavy list. Meanwhile, on the other side, the starboard side, the lifeboats were sometimes launched empty due to, unable to board the lifeboats. But don't worry, because the Stockholm has lifeboats along with another ship. And that other ship is this. The SS Ile-de-France was arriving from New York to its destination in France. But upon hearing the SOS signal from the Doria, it made a U-turn and turned back to help the Doria. With the France carrying more lifeboats, hope was restored. And by the time when the France arrived to the Doria, it was a restore of hope. And now, all that the France and other merchant vessels had to do was help. That other ship was the SS Ile-de-France. And when it arrived, it carried some lifeboats, and more merchant ships joined. And then hours later, the captain, along with its crew who abandoned ship, left the Doria floating, and ultimately the Doria sank. Even during the sinking, the news was televised. The event was captured on film. What you're seeing is actual footage during the sinking, and yet it shows the Doria listing to one side as the Stockholm had a broken bow. Lifeboats were available from other ships, but as you can see, not all was going well. And in the immediate end, what you see here is falling debris and a sinking ship listed to one side, the starboard side. And yet, or so, we see the Stockholm as well, with a damaged bow, and yes, it was very bad, and 5 died from this collision on the bow. And in the minutes following after the collision, with the Doria's captain already abandoning ship, it was now no hope. The Andrea Doria turned to one side and ultimately sank to the bottom. In the end, multiple people were injured during the collision, and yet 50 people died. The cause of death was obviously from drowning, but some were from the collision with the Stockholm. And yet, it was an end of an era for the Doria. What I'm about to tell is the last call from the Andrea Doria. SOS DEICEH. This is Andrea Doria. SOS here at 0230 GMT. LAT 40.30 North, 69.53 West. We need immediate assistance. This was the last SOS call from the Doria. And ultimately there were some casualties. 51 lives were lost, consisting of 43 passengers and 5 crew members from the Stockholm. And 43 died on the Doria. Technically, 51 lives. I'm not sure if that's true. But after the disaster, there was a long feud between the two companies. And ultimately, it was settled out of court. And yeah, that's all I had to say. So yes, we have learned about the sinking of the SS Andrea Doria. How it had claimed 46 people from the Doria and 5 from the Stockholm. And to that, we say good night, good luck, and good morrow. And thanks for watching Disasters of Yesteryear, Season 2, Episode 6.